in this very special episode of the AudPod. Game recaps, game previews, reminding you all this is a Jackson Parsons podcast and an interview with the one and only Hunter Brzustewicz. Hey, Andrew.
You do this every season now. Every season you break the format once, just once.
Andrew, we've no time for banter. Roll the intro.
Welcome to the AudPod, where we're talking Kitchener Rangers hockey with the oddballs themselves, Andrew and Justin. Take it away, fellas.
Okay, yes, Hunter Brzustewicz interview coming up. But first, game recaps. Andrew, we're doing this holiday break style, coming back with one game recap a person. So we have 4 games to recap. We had Tuesday, February 10th against London, Friday, February 13th against Kingston, Saturday, February 14th against Ottawa, and Monday, February 16th against Peterborough. I'm taking the first one. London, 5-2 win. The London Killer kept his name. The first period, the Rangers dominated, but just couldn't quite get one in until the final minute when Bilecki passed to Sherratt to get the first goal of the game. After that, it's just a lot of Sam O'Reilly scoring a lot of goals. Second period, the Rangers did end up the second period 4-2. It still felt close, though. Going into that third period, it felt like London might London a little bit and come back and tie up the game, but no, Sam O'Reilly said no. With 2 goals, 2 assists, he got a point at full strength, a point on the power play, a point shorthanded, and an empty netter point. And Sam O'Reilly's insane. This game never was really close, even though when you play London, you can't really say that. But here we are. Kirsch played amazing. Okay, that's London. Next up, Kingston, 4-2 win. Andrew, our 2000s franchise win.
Our 2000th win, yes, as a franchise. Great milestone and a great second period. It was a 4-goal second period for the Kitchener Rangers that put them over the top in this one. It was dominant from start to finish. They outshot Kingston 39-20. Matthew Ananovsky had a pair of assists in this one. Jack Prudhomme had a goal and 2 assists in this one. So did Christian Humphreys. And Cameron Arquette also had a multi-point game with a goal and an assist. It was a dominant in all 3 facets of the game. The face-offs were lopsided. The power play clicked. And the penalty kill only had 1 opportunity and Kingston scored. However, they stayed out of the box for the majority of the game. So I feel like they were much more disciplined than Kingston in this game. And there probably could have been some more power plays for Kitchener, I thought, watching this one. Ultimately, I thought this was a strong game out of Jason Schabel. He stopped 18 out of 20. I didn't have a problem with the 2 late goals that Kingston scored, one being on the power play and one being like right at the end of the game with the extra attacker. So it was kind of both, neither were truly even strength. It was a great effort. It was exactly what you need on the first leg of a Eastern road trip. So that's, in a nutshell, the 2000th win.
There it was. And then we headed down the road to Ottawa for a 2-0 win, which Andrew and I, of course, last week previewed as the game to watch because, this could be a potential finals matchup in the OHL. Ottawa obviously playing extremely well, although we might have put them on a little bit of a slump after this one. So this was a goaltender's duel. I mean, all hats off to Fedorov because he played insane. The Rangers gave it to him. Like they put up 33 shots on him. He only let in 1. We did win 2-0 because we did get the empty netter, but this game was insane. A notable line because there was not very much scoring and there really weren't that many penalties either. One line of note that I wanted to bring up was Lam Vermeulen Lamb, Vermeulen, and Lachar looked unreal in this game. It was really effective. Obviously, Ottawa's a great team. They have really great defensive core. I felt like this was our depth game where the depth came out, and that's what really was the difference maker. Obviously, Sam O'Reilly, again, scored both goals. So he's, they didn't score that goal, but, it was the goal they were the line that was needed and really challenged Fedorov the most in this game from my perspective. Then we headed to Peterborough, Andrew.
Yes, for Jack Pridham's 100th OHL game in Peterborough. This game was somewhat similar to the game I recapped against Kingston, where I thought that the Rangers, more or less dominated this game. Unfortunately, they didn't come out on top in this one. It was similar shots, 39-18 in this game. Obviously, this was one of those games where I think people are going to point to Kirsch's save percentage because he stopped, I think it was 16 of 18. But it was, it was a tight game. The Rangers put on a lot of pressure. Unfortunately, they did not score on the power play, and they went 0 for 5. And that was the difference for me. You can say, well, he's got to stop more than 15 to 17, but no, it went to a shootout. He gave you a chance to win 2-2. You got to score more than 2 goals when you have 5 power plays. That's the bottom line, because that's what they would have won this game if they just score on a power play. They love that second period. They're so strong. They outshot the Petes 16-5 in the second period. They just couldn't solve Easton Rye more than they did. This was what the story of the game was. Easton Rye stood on his head. He stopped 37 of 39. It was nice to see Alexander Bilecki score his 8th of the year. It looks like he's going to wind up in double digits in his draft year with goal scoring as a defenseman, which is incredible. Adam Novotny is very good. He scored his 26th. And Kieran Walton had the shootout winner. He's also an incredible hockey player. Of note, Matthew Ananovsky and Jack Pridham assisted Christian Humphreys. So I think there's a little bit of chemistry there with at least, that defenseman and those 2 forwards. And Tanner Lamb and Hayden Ellis had the assists on the Bilecki goal. So it's good to see the depth scoring. They just couldn't score on the power play. I don't want to hammer it more than that, but that was pretty much what it was. I do want to just note that our boy, Matthew Ananovsky, has 11 points in 15 games. So that's all I'm going to say there. He's doing pretty good. So ultimately on this road trip, they get 5 points out of 6. You can't really ask more than that going east. I thought that Ottawa win was a statement win, and that was probably one of Kirsch's best games of the year. So to me, you can't point to goaltending at all anymore. I don't know if we reversed AudPod cursed that because he ends up as goaltender of the week. Yeah. When we said, is there a controversy? Is there a controversy? There's no controversy.
No. The Kirsch played unreal. Schabel also had an unreal game on these. Yeah.
They're good goalies.
Yeah,
they have the stats that they have. I think we're a little bit spoiled maybe by the save percentages of Jackson Parsons. That it's not realistic that everybody's going to have those save percentages. And he was an overager, remember? So it took a little while for Jackson Parsons as well.
And also the Rangers are playing so solid defensively that a goal or 2 goes in, that's going to happen because a good opportunity is a good opportunity. But it's when you look at save percentage, it's the lower shot numbers that should be more substantial, and that's just the team not letting shots go to the goalie.
The bottom line is, in a 7-game series, if you're out shooting teams almost 2-1, aside from a total meltdown by both your goalies, because I'm assuming if one had a meltdown and you pulled one and put the other in, you're going to win a 7-game series if you're dominating to that degree. So there's going to be games where you go 0 for 5 on the power play against a weaker opponent and you don't win. But realistically, it never goes to the shootout in overtime or in playoffs. So you don't have to worry about that, right? So it is what it is. Like I said, I thought that this was a statement kind of thing, and obviously the OHL did as well, putting them second in the power rankings behind only Barrie. I mean,
Barrie?
I will
Really?
say Barrie is an absolute wagon like right now, but to me, I think the Rangers are the best team in the league right now. So
in the best time of year to be the best team in the league.
Yeah, I think it's all coming together for them.
Okay, speaking of AudPod curse.
Yes, maybe perhaps a AudPod curse. I mean, it's a good curse, though. Weston Cameron commits to the University of Massachusetts Amherst. I believe it's the Minutemen. And I'll say that because I actually once spent a little over a week on campus at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. Fun fact, doing a comedy improv workshop. That I lived in the dorms and everything, cool. So I have something to talk about with Weston the next time I see him.
Great.
But yeah, it's great for him. We don't know when he's going. Obviously, I'm just going to assume it's next year. He's going.
No. Two more years. Come on, Andrew. Have faith.
Two more years.
I can't let him go. I can't.
I mean, either way, it's whatever is best for him and his development. That's what I hope happens. So if that's staying in Kitchener, I'll be thrilled. And if it means, he has more opportunity and succeeds quicker and gets to his dream of, I'm sure, the NHL through the NCAA route, then, so be it.
Okay. We got 3 games upcoming this week. For the first time ever, we've been caught up on games, which is amazing. There are no games between our recording and when this podcast is going to come out. That's going to go out again the window next week. Because on Friday, we host at the Odd, home again, the Windsor Spitfires. And then on Saturday, we head down to Saturday, February 21st, we head down to Erie for a game in Erie. And then on Wednesday, February 25th, we head over to Guelph for, I think our last. I think the Erie and the Guelph game are both of our last meetings with these teams for the season, which are both 8-game series. So it's been a long road. These ones. That Highway 7 feels well traveled. First game is Windsor. Obviously, this is the most consequential game of the week. Windsor's tied with Flint for the top of the West Division. Obviously, the Rangers are sitting on top of the Western Conference, but only by 1 point. So beating Windsor will sort of solidify at least Windsor not being at the top of the division or the conference. Obviously, Flint controls their own destiny. But yeah, anyways, Windsor, they're sitting 34 wins, 12 losses, 5 overtime losses, and 2 shootout losses. And they're 7-2-0-1 in their last 10. So we've beat them twice. We have one more meeting with Windsor after this one, but we have beat them twice, and we beat them since the trade deadline twice. So this is like real matchups. This could be a potential third rounder. If something really weird happens, it could be a second rounder, but I don't think so at this point. But this could be a potential third round matchup to win the West. So, Windsor, we gotta just like Ottawa last week, we gotta beat them this week.
Absolutely.
Then we head to Erie.
We got to talk about Evan Hedrick. He had a couple goals last week in a game. He looks like he's really coming to his own there. But I mean, Erie's dead last. They're not making the playoffs. No. They're 8 points behind Owen Sound for the last playoff spot. It's not happening. No. So at this point, if it started today, the Rangers would play Owen Sound. And that would be, I think that I don't see an upset happening, obviously, with that team. But I think Erie is, significantly weaker. So they can't get a trap game here. No. They can't end up with a trap game.
Teams with nothing to lose are the most dangerous teams. Like, it can be most dangerous for just purely scoring. It can be most dangerous for morale. It can also be most dangerous for, physical play. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, just these games, you always have to be cautious and ready. Like you can't go out expecting to win. And then we head down the Highway 7 to Guelph. I'm sure Moose is there trying to find parking already. I had a friend text me today. They were at a Guelph Storm game last week, and I asked her how the parking was, and she said atrocious. How did you know? So, I have I'm starting to collect my data.
They're gonna find out. I know. I'm telling you, the only person I know in Guelph is a diehard Guelph Storm fan, and he told me himself the parking is atrocious. So all these people on the internet telling me otherwise, I don't know why my friend would lie to me.
I don't know.
And the only time I went there, we had to park and walk. So I don't know.
This is
okay.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Rangers have dominated Guelph all season. Obviously, Guelph sort of threw in the towel for this year as soon as they got the Memorial Cup. Yeah. So they've been sinking in the standings, but they're a potential first round matchup. Potential first round upset, second round matchup for the Rangers. So, it depends how things go, but that's where things are.
I mean, they could. Realistically, I think whoever plays them, if it's Kitchener, Flint, or Windsor in the first round, there's no chance that Guelph gets out of it.
I think so.
But Guelph could also end up as the 8th seed as well. It's all pretty close and bunched up down there. Yeah. But ultimately, again, this is just another team that's looking to beat you because you've been kind of manhandling them all season. So I really want to see the foot on the neck type thing where it's never close. Don't start, killing clock up 2 goals. Start killing clock up 4 goals. That's what I want to see.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's our games coming up this week. Some quick news around the OHL. I promised to tell you why we're still a Jackson Parsons podcast, because he's back in the AHL.
He certainly is. About time.
Yes.
It's about time. The bottom line is, well, we said it. We said it that there's another goal. There was another goalie in the AHL that's like 30 years old with the same stats. I'm like, what are they doing over there? It's just, I guess, probably just to get him some more seasoning, but hopefully he's done in the East Coast Hockey League and especially in Texas. I'm throwing all the shade at a small city like Allen, Texas. I'm sure it's good for character building and whatever to play hockey down there, but let's keep our boy in Belleville and then eventually in Ottawa.
If there's ice there, he can play hockey there. Okay?
There's ice. There's ice.
And of course, we want to shout out some news from Alumni. Andrew, what's Reid Valade?
Reid Valade. Yeah, Reid Valade is I shouldn't say the all-time, but he is like 3rd overall all-time with 48 points in a U Sports season. So he finished the season with 27 goals, 21 assists, 48 points in 30 games played. This kind of came out of nowhere because he didn't have that many points in the last 2 seasons of his U Sports career. It wasn't even close. I believe he had in the teens last season. So this was an offensive explosion. Of course, he's a Caledon boy, so it's pretty cool to see him succeeding in Canadian U Sports, and he led obviously all scorers this year by a fair margin. That's great. Congratulations, Reid.
Congratulations, Reid. And now is the time that we've been teasing since the beginning of the episode and since Tuesday on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. I don't know.
TikTok for
great.
Sure.
Yeah. We have our Christmas present from Sean Fafaro, an interview with the one and only Calgary Flame, Hunter Brzustewicz.
Hey, Andrew.
Hey, Justin.
Hey, Hunter.
Hey, Justin.
Hey, Hunter.
Hey, Andrew.
We're here with a Kitchener Rangers franchise record holder. We're with a Calgary Flame. We're with an incredible all-around defenseman with a scoring touch. We're with the one and only Hunter Brzustewicz.
I appreciate that intro. I mean, I don't know about these accolades, but
we're a Kitchener Rangers podcast, and you hold a Kitchener Rangers franchise record. That's pretty impressive all in itself. It's an old franchise.
Fair enough.
In case anyone is unaware, which I don't think anybody is, but Hunter Brzustewicz does own the most points in a regular season for the Kitchener Rangers by a defenseman. So pretty impressive record.
That year in particular, you were on an absolute tear from the beginning. I saw that it was like you had like 16 points in like 7 games to open that season. It was unbelievable. Did you start to realize that you were closing in on a record, or was it just kind of like, you're just playing hockey and it's just happening for you?
I mean, I think both. I think anyone that says they're not paying attention to those things are lying to you. That year was an unbelievable year. We had great teammates. Great coaches, and I think they really set the tone from the start. Every single day we came to the rink with a smile on our faces, and I think that's the most important part. And it allowed us to bond as a team outside of the rink too. And yeah, it was just, we won a lot of hockey games too, so it was fun. Obviously we didn't go as far as we wanted, but the whole year it was a blast.
That was the first year with new coaching staff, right? That was Hooker's first year.
Yeah. It was good. It was different just because, obviously he doesn't speak English very well at the start, so I think it was different for him. But he did a great job. It was a great year with him.
And did the systems and the way that you guys played hockey change a lot from the year previous with the previous coaching staff, or how did that manifest into what became this magical season?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously you said the systems and stuff, but I think it was just like the tone right away from the start of camp and the first practices. He really set the tone and let us know we're here for business, and I think that really set us up for a great year.
And how much time did you have to spend in the sauna with him?
Oh, we didn't have a sauna. We weren't lucky enough back then, but now they do. Yeah. So I bet he's in there. I bet he's in there all day. But I would be in there too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we will mention that you are a Michigan man. You grew up in Michigan. Obviously, I've got the Nicholas Lidstrom jersey here behind me, just to honor Hockey Town and you being a Michigan boy. Growing up in Michigan, you kind of missed the Wings dynasty through no fault of your own. You're just a young guy, but you did see, you were around for at least one cup. Tell us about that kind of Hockey Town, that culture in Detroit and Michigan, and how that affected your decision to get into hockey, and your brother, of course.
Well, I think growing up as a kid, we didn't watch hockey at all, really. And then once I think we started playing hockey, we got season tickets to the Wings. I don't know if we had them before or not, but we always went to games, me and my brother. I remember where we sat at the Joe, all the stories, watching Lidstrom, watching, crazy games and stuff. It was pretty cool. And I think Detroit as a sports town in general is, I would probably say it's underrated just because it's very passionate, and I'm very passionate as well. So growing up and going to those games, it was really cool.
Justin is going to dominate the second half of this conversation with his Calgary Flames talk, and I am from Edmonton, so I'm going to kind of just take a back seat. So before we get into that, I want to talk about your Detroit Lions fandom. I know from Sean Ferfaro, who put us in touch, he told me that you and your brother are huge Lions fans. So tell me a little bit. I want your analysis. Last year was an incredible year for the Lions. This year they took a little bit of a step back. I know Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator, left the team. Give me your analysis. What do they need to do in this offseason going into next year to take the division back?
Really putting me on the spot right now. But you know what? I think the last couple games of the season was big. Honestly, losing those games. Obviously, I would never root for them to lose. But getting the 4th place in the division, I think, helped a lot within next year's schedule. Because if you looked at the 3rd place teams that they would have to play versus the 4th place teams, I think it's a big difference. And I think that's really where the Lions, I wouldn't say got screwed because that's just how it is, but their schedule was very hard this season. The first 10 weeks was just crazy with the away games and who they played and stuff. So, I like the hiring so far. Didn't know who the new offensive coordinator was, but as long as trusting Dan Campbell, that's all it is.
So I wanted to add on. So you were talking about that it was between Windsor and Kitchener. What I can probably make a quick leap that Windsor's the closest to home. But why was Kitchener the other option in the OHL? Like, obviously there are other good teams in the OHL. So what made Kitchener that other option?
That's a great question. To be honest, I still don't know the answer to that. So I wouldn't have a correct answer. But I mean, I would think it's just like, I mean, who they are and, how they've developed so many good players and, what they have to offer. It wasn't really my understanding of who they were as a franchise. And at the time, I didn't know much about the OHL. So it was more my agent doing that kind of stuff, with picking who would, be an option. So I wouldn't have an answer on exactly why, but I would guess on, there's so many things about the Kitchener Rangers on what make them so special.
They passed the vibe check, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, yeah, that's good for us.
That is really good for us. Yeah, definitely. And I know like it was kind of a shortened OHL career because obviously the circumstances for you, but it's funny. We both are from Alberta. We didn't get into the market until just briefly before your time in Kitchener, and we didn't really start following the Rangers until your record-setting year. Just tell us a little bit about your arrival into Kitchener and maybe a memory of the Aud and playing hockey at the Aud in your introduction and how special it is as a player.
It truly is, and everyone. It just seems like everyone's on top of you when you're playing. I would say in introduction, I mean, walking out even just for like the first preseason game was pretty cool, just because I haven't played in front of that many fans and before that. But I would say one of my best memories of playing in the Aud was Game 4 when we beat Windsor when we were the 8 seed and they were the 1 seed. I remember like the crowd was just unbelievable, and I remember being on the bench when the seconds were counting down, and everyone was just going nuts. It was pretty cool. It really was.
Yeah, that was my third Rangers game. So
oh my gosh.
I had been to one game in the regular season where you guys beat Kingston like 6-0, and it was apparently like the largest home crowd since like COVID. Oh, wow. And then I went to both playoff games because the first playoff game I was like, first of all, I was going down thinking, okay, they're the 8th seed.
Yeah.
This was a Windsor team that had like Shane Wright on it. I was like, okay, like what is this? And then of course, Pinelli was tossed from the game at some point. So it was truly a kind of, on paper, at least a David and Goliath matchup, but the energy at the Aud is what got me. And I was like, this is like, I live walking distance to this place.
Yeah. It was unreal.
And it continues to be. Last playoff run was unbelievable, and Justin and I were in awe of the passion with the crowd. Obviously, you mentioned, that was kind of a storybook year for you. It ended a little bit earlier than you wanted, but that upset was incredible. And just talk about maybe some of your teammates that year. You played on a pairing a lot of the games with future captain and now former captain Matthew Adanovsky, and you played with some of those guys. Cameron Reid was a young guy who came in. Just curious if you saw anything in them that would suggest that they both be captain material and what it was like, being part of a defense core with those guys.
It was great. I mean, Reeder, it was like, it's funny, he walks in as a rookie and you don't really think he's a rookie. It looks like he's a second, third year guy already. And we were saying the entire time, the previous team that won the Memorial Cup a long time ago, when they were at our game against Kingston, I can't remember what year it is, and I don't want to be wrong, but they came in, it was like the 40th year anniversary, I want to say. Okay. And we were telling Reeder, because, at the time we thought next year that Kitchener was going to get the Memorial Cup. So we were telling him the whole time, like, hey, this is going to be you. This could be you in 40 years, that you're going to be the captain bringing back a championship to the city. So I think we always knew like right away that he was going to be the captain at some point. It was just a matter of when. And Ando, I mean, I didn't know he was going to be the captain last year, was it? So, but I mean, obviously playing with him, he was great. He always brought the energy. He was a leader on our team, and I can't say nothing but good things about him. And he was a great partner to have. He always was telling me, if I need to do my thing or whatever, I'm here to back you up and here to protect you. So, I was really close with him as well.
You guys definitely had I mean, probably what helped make the magical season a magical season was the fact that you two had great chemistry, at least from a fan perspective on the ice. The two of you worked really well together, and it seemed like Ando could cover any holes, and you were doing the offensive magic and all that sort of.
It really was, yeah.
It was that thunder and lightning pairing.
Yeah,
right? That's what you needed. That was your Kitchener career. You get drafted 75th overall, third round with Vancouver, and you don't sign. And then eventually you are traded to Justin's Calgary Flames. I say that as if Justin has an ownership stake. I've
given them a lot of money over the year.
In his mind. Former season ticket holder, Justin Bourne. So take us through. I know it's a lot of it is the agents, handle that kind of stuff, but you don't sign with Vancouver. Is as a player, is there any doubt in your mind with that, or is that kind of a strategic move? And then you end up in Calgary, part of a huge trade. I mean, that's kind of cool. I mean, I don't know, maybe not for you as a player, but as a fan, I would think in my mind, having two premier players with Kuzmenko and Lindholm going, that's kind of an interesting thing to be a part of.
It really was, and you know what, I was saying before the trade deadline in the NHL, and before that trade even happened, I was saying to myself, I was like, it would actually be really cool to be part of an NHL trade. To be a part of an NHL trade would be any time of your career, especially if I've never in the league yet, it would be pretty cool. Yeah. And with the thing with the Vancouver, it's funny because there was a couple people on Twitter and wherever saying that I didn't want to sign or anything, and it truly wasn't that. It was just because I was a late birth, and things behind the scenes, with me sliding a year, it just wouldn't have worked out. So and we just didn't like that part of it. So it wasn't that I didn't want to sign with Vancouver. And then obviously I got traded to Calgary, and it was pretty cool. And in the moment, I saw that Lindholm was going to be traded, but I had no clue that I was going to be traded. And then even my agent called me that day, and he's like, "Hey, just keep your phone on you." And I'm like, "Am I part of that deal?" And he's like, "I have no clue, but you just got to keep it on." And then about a minute later, Patrick Alvin of Vancouver texted me if I could call him. And I was like, "Oh, wow, this is really happening." And then I think that the entire night I was probably on the phone with hundreds of people, just, teammates, family. And
whoa,
they're asking me what's happening. And I have no clue. And I was just in shock. But yeah, it was pretty cool. And then honestly, this is a good story. So I was on the phone with Trent and Jackson Parsons. Obviously those two are animals themselves, but
we made the mistake of interviewing them together on the pod.
I think so.
That was rough on us.
It was funny because Jackson's a big music. I mean, they both are, but Jackson's a big music guy. And that night we were just on the phone with each other, and Jackson was like, "Hey, Michael Bublé is a big Vancouver fan," and he's like, "Message him." And I'm like, "Should I?" I'm like, "Why?" So I'm like, "All right, screw it." And then, so I messaged him, and I was just quick message. I was like, whatever. And then I woke up to a response from him, and I was like, dang, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you gotta throw your weight around, man. When you're in those circles, you gotta, like I said, get it while you can.
Flex your influence. Yeah. No problem.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Then I'd love to hear the signing process of Calgary. This is what I'm very interested in.
Yeah.
So I think obviously the dates and stuff. March 1st is those dates that you can sign. So pretty soon after that, we were just, my agent was going back and forth with them and trying to figure out contract wise and whatever. But then my agent came to me and was like, "Hey," and I believe in my agent and trust him 100%. I would trust him with my life. So
Awesome.
Whatever he suggests, I would do. And he came to me, called me, and he's like, "Hey, I'm actually going to be in Kitchener today." So the day that the contract was going to be sent over, so it was nice of that he could share that moment with me, and we went out to dinner and celebrated. And he just suggested that we take that contract. So it happened pretty quick, but it was pretty surreal and happening. And then all the boys still didn't know for I think a day or two, but it was pretty cool.
Because it was like you guys were right at the end of the Kitchener season, like when you signed. There was, because March 1st, that's the last month of the regular season in the OHL. So you guys are, you're still pushing for playoff position, and I think you guys were locked up by that point, but maybe not your position locked up. So you're still in pretty intense games, plus getting ready for playoffs. Like, that's got to be a lot of things on your mind in a couple days.
Well, for sure. Yeah. Like, it's funny because, like, when guys sign in the OHL, like, even for me, I felt like the first game after signing, it's like, there's some added pressure to that. And it's like, you got to do something in the game, because it's like, if not, these guys are going to give it to you. So I think even everyone that signed in the OHL, it's like, you're pretty big time now, like, in the OHL. So it's like, you got to put up a show or something. So I can't remember what happened my first game after, but it was some added pressure for sure.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure you scored a goal, because I was at that game. So
do you know what game? Do you know who we were playing that game?
I don't. I was so excited that you signed with Calgary. I bought your jersey that night, so I was like, "You're like a Like, this was you like a little bit of AudPod lore is like you're kind of like the inspiration for like why the AudPod ended up starting, because I was like, Andrew really wanted to do this, and then I was like, I was into it, and then you signed with Calgary, and I was like, oh, this is like so damn exciting.
This is a sign, right, for him to get on the Rangers bandwagon. Is that the Rangers are producing elite Calgary Flames talent. So that was the final. He was pretty stoked. In fact, that jersey made its way to when Sean Furfaro's family came out and watched your game.
That's right. Okay, yes.
That's Justin's jersey.
Oh, okay.
Hey, and Hunter, it came back unsigned, and we don't blame you for that.
No.
I blame Sean.
No, I blame Sean.
Hey, you know what? I was just gonna say, obviously depends what happens with my season and stuff, but if I'm home and the Rangers are still in it, like, I'm for sure coming up for a game. So if you guys, like, if I can meet you guys that day or something, that'd be great.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. They, believe it or not, Hunter, they let us in the press box now.
Yeah.
So
wow. Good for you guys. There you guys go.
We're pretending at least to be big time now.
Can I interview you? Can I interview you guys? Like, you guys are the big
absolutely, you can. There's
speaking of which, we know that that was the other part of
video.
The video with you and Sean, where you interviewed Sean, that was the other thing. It was like, not only is this guy great at hockey, now a Calgary Flame, he's like got a real personality.
That video surprisingly went pretty viral. It was
it
cool.
totally did.
Yeah. So you're in Calgary. One of the things I wanted to talk about is Nazem Kadri. He was obviously an OHL player, played in Kitchener and London, like your brother. So maybe we can tie it in. Have you talked to him at all about his experiences in the OHL, or is it just kind of like part of like this unspoken brotherhood?
No, we do talk about it, and we've been out to a couple dinners with me and him, and that always seems to come up. And then we're always chatting about who's the better franchise and stuff. And I'm obviously all over Kitchener and whatever, but then they have the winning, so it's like, I guess I can't say too much, but we always talk about spots in Kitchener. Whatever it may be, and he always said nothing but great things about Kitchener. So we chat about it a few times for sure.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So before we wrap things up here, I want to talk about having a brother that plays for the bitter rival London Knights. Like, what's that like in the family dynamic? Like you said, yeah, they have the winning, but I'll say we got the heart. We got the heart and soul here in Kitchener.
Yeah.
So tell me what that's like. Like it'd be like if your brother was to be, in the Battle of Alberta. That's what I try and tell people. It's such a bitter rivalry out here between Kitchener and London. What was that like, at Christmas or at the family dinner table?
You know what? It hurts, to be honest. But I think my first year in Kitchener, he came to a couple games, and he was wanting to come to Kitchener, and obviously they didn't take him, so he got to London. But now I find myself sadly rooting for the Knights, and I know it hurts myself, but at the end of the day, it is family, and obviously I would choose
family. Yeah,
I would root for my brother anytime. So that Memorial Cup last year in the final, I went to a restaurant and I was cheering for him.
Of course. Yeah,
but then because I could say that. Yeah. No, I could say that because I'm out of the league. But then at the second year I was in the league and they went to the Memorial Cup in Saginaw. I will say I was not rooting for them.
Good. Okay.
Well, good.
So
it took you some processing time. Yeah.
Yeah. I was still in the league then. I didn't want them to win the year I was in the league, but at the same time, like them beating us twice in the playoffs, and I think it was 8-1 in the 2 years that I was in the series against them. It wasn't a great feeling, and for him to always, for now to have the upper hand. For now. Yeah, it stung, but it is what it is.
He's a pretty good player. Like, tell us how you're better than your brother Henry Brzustewicz.
Not so much for Anaheim. Kirkland wins the draw. Klapka, Hunter Brzustewicz. That one deflects in, and that's the first NHL goal for Hunter Brzustewicz.
I think you should ask him that because he would know. But no, it's funny. He's having a great season. I'm really proud of him. But I think we're similar in a way, but we're also very different. And I think I have more offensive upside, but he's also got the longer reach and the defensive side with his bigger size. Right. So I think he's done a tremendous job in getting better, and I think this year he's taken big strides. But yeah, it would be really cool to play against him again for sure.
Oh yeah, I have a feeling that'll happen.
Yeah, I think that's coming up.
Yeah, I have a feeling that'll happen for you. Speaking of playing against opponents, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, as an Oilers fan, and talking about the idea of having mixed feelings and kind of being confused. I watched not the last game you played against Edmonton, the game before that. There was a specific play. I think you already know where I'm going with this. Connor McDavid, former OHLer, and pretty solid hockey player, pretty decent NHLer. Justin might disagree, but he's coming in. I rewatched this play today. He's coming in full head of steam, doing what he does. We've seen incredible defensemen in the NHL, end up on highlight reels. You played that situation perfectly. I know it happened so fast, but if you have a thought process in that moment where you didn't take a penalty, you didn't get away with a penalty,
not even a controversial call.
No, you played it perfect. I sat there being like, it was weird because I was like, oh, okay, good. Yeah, he did that well. And then I was like, wait a minute. No, he's a Flame now. I can't be rooting for him. So take me through that on ice. It's Connor McDavid. He's so fast. That's the thing that he is, right? If he's nothing else, he's so incredibly fast. How do you play that in your mind? And was that intimidating? Have you had a moment going up against anyone, not necessarily Connor McDavid, but going up against anyone where you're like, oh man, look who that is across from me on the rink right now?
I think so. Yeah. I'll start with that question just because that first game that I was up this year was against Detroit. So when I was looking over in warmups, I was way more nervous in that game than I was my first game last year. Looking over and see Kane, I was like, and then even just seeing the Red Wing logo, I was like, wow, this is unbelievable. And then my heart was just pounding through my chest. Right. But for this year against McDavid, we were on the power play and we turned it over. And obviously he was in the box, and obviously once he gets his crossovers going, and I realized I needed to get back, and it wasn't that I could skate backwards, because if I kept skating backwards, I was done. So I thought to myself, I was like, I need to get back. So I changed to forward, and then I was like, you know what? In the moment, I was like, all right, I got him. I felt confident, and then he cut behind me, and I turned around, and he was already like a step past me, and I was like, oh shit. And then I got a stick on it, and I was like, all right, that one felt good. But in the moment, it was a little bit, I was confident at first, actually. And then the second part, I was like, oh boy. And then I got a stick. So I was lucky enough that I got to him.
Well, I'm glad. I'm honestly, as a Rangers fan, I was very glad that you didn't end up on a highlight reel. I've seen, like I said, I've seen great defensemen. I've seen, Morgan Riley has some all-time lowlights, and he's a great defenseman. There was obviously he's changed his direction so quickly, but that kind of steadiness and that confidence that you have on the blue line in those high pressure situations, that's being talked about in Calgary by the media, by influencers online. They're really talking about how it's been a standout season. Justin, you can speak a little bit more to that as somebody in the Flames kind of world.
I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. Sorry, I'm still just thinking about that play. It was so good.
Thank you.
Yeah. It was, like I said, it was, game recognized game. Yeah, it was one of those moments. I was like, okay, well, that's good, because
your ankles
you could have been baptized. So yeah, you could have been baptized.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, it was awesome.
We're talking Battle of Alberta. You said you grew up, or when you started playing hockey in your formidable years, you were going to Red Wings games at the Joe. You've played at the Odd, and now you're playing in the Saddle Dome, which is like one of the oldest barns in the NHL. Like, Battle of Alberta in Calgary, against London at the Odd, Chicago, Detroit in the Joe. Like, what do you got? How does it compare?
How does it all stack up?
You know what? It's all pretty good. Obviously, the Calgary one with the Edmonton, it's basically like a Edmonton home game at the Saddle Dome. So that one stings a little bit. But then same thing with London at the Odd. They travel and fill it up pretty well too.
Yep.
I would say that the Detroit one in Chicago, I can't remember too much, but the London and Kitchener one, it was always very fun playing. Obviously that we hated each other, and the fans would always, get chants going. And then, here in Calgary, it's pretty fun to play too, especially just in the locker room before all the guys know what's at stake, and they know, it's just like it's the rivalry. We hate each other, so it's pretty fun to play, and the crowd loves it too.
Yeah. Before you let you go, it was only recent that there was that, that Battle of Alberta where the goalies fought, an all-time highlight. Did that ever process in your mind before you started playing for the Flames and playing Edmonton? Did you think, oh man, I'm going to be a part of the Battle of Alberta? I know, you're from Detroit, so maybe that doesn't carry as much weight as like back in the 90s, Detroit and Colorado in the Western Conference, which could be a fun Stanley Cup matchup this year. You could actually, because now Detroit's in the East. But did that ever factor into your mind that like, man, I'm going to be part of like a legendary rivalry?
You know what? Probably not just as much. No, just because I've never really been out here, so I guess I never really understood it. But when I saw that video of the goalies fighting, like, I don't remember if I saw it. I probably did. But it never really crossed my mind that I would be a part of it like this. And now it's like, you look forward to these games.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's always sad. Like, I think the last one's done now for the season, but it's like, it's always sad when the Battle of Albertas are done for the year. Even if the two teams in the rankings are not evenly matched, it's always a fun game. Like,
it's always good. And what I will say as an Oilers fan, as much as we, hate the Flames, you are like our brothers, and we hate you like a brother. It's a rivalry like that. It's, it's more fun when both teams are both competitive, and
For sure.
and we do like that. So secretly, we want you guys to be just good enough that it's more impressive to beat you. So that's what I will say. So
Fair enough.
So there's always some bad apples, in every fan base, but truthfully, diehard, I had season tickets through the decade of darkness. We do want the Flames and the Oilers to be competitive every year.
That's fair enough, and hopefully we can get back there to
Definitely,
get
you
there.
will. You will.
I mean, you took
You
the
will.
season series this year, so
You did.
Yeah,
You
We
did.
did.
Thanks,
We did.
Justin.
this has been
No.
unbelievable. Thank you, Hunter, for joining
I
us.
appreciate you guys, and sorry about the connections here, but it was
that's
a good time. Fun talking to you guys.
Yeah, we're just blaming it on that you're a defenseman. Ando, we had similar problems,
Yeah.
so we're just blaming it on defenseman. That's what's
Defenseman and the AudPod do not mix. Here we go.
Um,
But great conversations.
great conversation.
Yeah, it was good. It was good, and hopefully, maybe in a few months, if I'm home and I come up for a game, we could chat and meet each other. That'd be great.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That'd be great.
Cool.
Yeah, let us know when you're in the area,
Yeah.
because we'd be happy to meet up.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Unreal. Thanks, Hunter.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you, Hunter.
And we're back.
What a lovely guy. Maybe I don't know if he drinks a beer,
He's a
but
good dude.
I'd have a beer with him. He seems cool.
I think he said that he wants to interview us. So I think if and when he comes back to Kitchener, we'll have to get some content where he interviews us, because he actually inspired the first and only physical odd potty. So
Yes.
we've got to get an interview from Hunter.
Yes, 100%.
A career in media. I think.
I mean,
post playing.
it's almost too good. It's almost too bad that he's so good at hockey, because he could start getting into media like sooner rather than later, like a third co-host on the AudPod.
Yeah, but listen, when you're not good enough at hockey and you get into media early, you get bitter and you write bad articles.
Oh, right. Okay. So have your career.
yeah.
We'll see your seat's ready for you, Hunter, in 20 years when you retire.
Absolutely. Play it out, buddy.
Okay. Well, that's been an episode. So, of course, we have to thank Ken Bourne, our director of branding and marketing. That's him right there.
Up aboard.
A rare appearance from Papa Bourne. We got to shout out our prodigal producer, Liam.
The Phenom.
Tim,
Tim.
that was a really echoey Tim. I'm sorry that you have to
Yeah, it
fix
was.
all of that. I have a very echoey room this
Tim.
week. Tim. And of course, a big
Tim.
special shout out to JJ for doing the voiceover on our intro. Thank you, JJ. We saw you
Thanks,
road
JJ.
trip last week and listened to the AudPod, so that was cool.
Loved that.
Andrew, how do you find us on the social medias?
At the Odd Podcast on TikTok and Instagram, and you can just search in the search bar on YouTube, the Odd Pod or Kitchener Rangers. We're one of the first results.
Wow, so cool. And Andrew, as always, you can find us at
Kitchener Memorial Auditorium.
you got the odd. The odd.
Papa Bourne, come back. Come back, Papa Bourne.